This is my Anubis kit. It's my first original creation that I'm offering a kit for that's not directly from a video game. And you'll need to get two pieces if you want to have the whole kit to work. The first piece you'll need is one of the wrist mounts. There's a right-handed and a left-handed version depending on which arm you want to wear it on. And the second piece is the actual Anubis kit itself. Now for assembly, the Anubis kit is assembled almost exactly the same way as my Corvo kit was. So you can go ahead and watch the video in the description for that assembly, but there's a couple minor differences. The first one, obviously there's no fangly bits here at the top. The second big one is this support bracket here, which is made from a jumbo paperclip, and I'll show you how to do that right now. So once you have your paperclip pretty much straight, what you need to do is grab it at the end and make a 90-degree bend as close as you can to the end, like so. Then do it again, and you'll end up with a little S-curve, like so. Then this S-curve goes through this bottom hole in your kit, and I'm showing you this is my original prototype. So you hook that over and that goes in there. And then with everything closed, find the front of this channel here and line up your paperclip near the front of the channel, and then just bend it at 90 degrees. And don't worry about getting perfectly to the front of the channel. Believe me, in a few seconds it's really not going to matter. So then all you have to do is then put this through the channel. I've disconnected this other side, and then bend it so that it fits this dimension. So kind of line it up and bend it, and again a little bit loose is fine. You don't want it too tight or it's going to cause too much friction. So you see that paperclip fits over this dimension here, and then what you need to do is make another S-bend. So just kind of eyeball it and line it up and bend it once and twice, like so. And what you're going to need is a pair of clippers, and then just clip off the tiny little bit of excess you'll have, and go ahead and bend that guy nice and square. So then what you need to do is you'll hook over your two rubber bands first, but then take one of these sides and press it through this hole, and you might have to bend it a little bit and then bend it back flat. Then flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Once you have both sides in, you'll see you can close it, and it should sit like this. But there's one last thing you need to do, and that's take your pair of pliers. You can see, grab a portion of the way down the paper clip and actually give it a 90-degree bend here. And then flip over and do the exact same thing on the other side. With the support bar added, what you need to do is, before you connect the last side of it, go ahead and loop over two of your rubber bands, your orthodontic rubber bands, and then fish them through, and if you can see carefully, they'll end up right here on this inside. And then what you need to do is stretch these over and hook them over this front little tab, and you might need to clear out underneath here with a little tool just to make sure that hook is clear. But then all you need to do is grab one of the rubber bands with a paper clip and then hook it over that little tab. And then go ahead and pull on the rubber band to set it. There. And then you just do the same thing a second time. There's two rubber bands on here. Just drop those over. And what that'll do is that makes it so that this is now wants to spring open. Once you have everything attached and this guy is springing out nice and beautifully, the next thing you'll need to do is attach it to the wrist mount. And all you need to do, first step, is to tie a knot in a piece of fishing line and thread it through the middle hole, not the top 2 holes and the bottom hole that I use in my other kit, but right through the middle. And then all you have to do is close this up and place it inside of the wrist mount. And then pull your piece of string taut and through this bottom hole here, which you might need to Dremel out. And then simply pull it through, mark it, and tie a knot. Then the next part you have to handle is the trigger assembly. And when you first receive your arm mount, it's going to look like this. You'll need to take a pair of clippers and clip this piece off as close to this surface as you can get. Then all you need to do is tie another knot in another piece of fishing line. Simply stick this part into this back hole, and then thread over one of your rubber bands. And this hooks over these back 2 little fangs and then hooks over the front here. And this acts as your spring that holds the lock in. And what the lock holds on to is this pin here on the back of the blade. And you can see that it's a little bit longer. It sticks out, and that's necessary so that it has something to grab onto and lock into place. Then all you need to do is run that piece of fishing line through this front loop here and then tie it off to a ring of your choice or a key ring or whatever you have laying around. And that's basically it. And the next step is to mount it on your arm. Device nice and centered in your hand. Mount it so that the cable is taut and everything is pushed back. And it will actually mount slightly high up on your arm, and that's good because it gives you good wrist movement. And then in order to activate it, I use the same ring system I've used a lot of places. You make the string long enough so you don't have to worry about pulling it, moving your wrist around. But if you grab it with your fingers and then you pull, you can see now you can activate it and now you don't. And so to put it in, all you need to do is place the bottom of the blade edge right on there, pull on your lock so that you clear those tabs, and then push the device in and you're good to go. If you don't buy the arm mount, you can assemble it exactly the same way as my Corvo kit with the thumb loop and leave off the rubber bands, and it will work just like the Corvo kit did. Ton of different finishing options. You can go the original route that I used on my Corvo kit, which is distressed silver rub and buff, and then with some wood grain vinyl I got off of Amazon. Now this is my original prototype. You can see these early prototypes have a different symbol on them. But this is just black spray paint and red spray paint, and then I used some silver foil tape to do the raised sections. I don't recommend using the foil tape on the blade parts because when the blade bends and flexes, you'll get wrinkles in the silver tape that you'll have to keep smoothing out, and it gets kind of annoying. On the later prototype here, I did a gold rub and buff, and then I got some carbon fiber car vinyl off of Amazon to do the sunken sections, which turned out really nice and quite Batman-esque. And then here is the final version, which has the same symbols that the version you would buy have. On this side, it has the Anubis A pointed down, and then on the opposite side, on my version, it has the Eye of Ra, but on the version you buy, it will have the same A only pointed up. But this is the same vinyl, and then it's just silver rub and buff. Now, there's a ton of different options that you can go for. You know, the sky's the limit. So go crazy with it, customize it, have a good time.